And to that end, you've actually got a good story just down the street, not even a half mile down the street here in Blue Springs, the similar kind of thing where I think it's a good indication that, one of the philosophies I have with real estate is don't wait to buy real estate, just buy real estate and wait. You had an instance here where the city was mandating that you do certain things and you had to demo a building down and you had to put curbs in and spend $600,000 on a reformatting of this lot. But now you've got a 20-year lease, a ground lease. Beautiful concept. Give us a little bit of flavor on your thoughts on how real estate opportunities seem to always end up coming out at the end of the day.
Well, the thing about it is it very rarely do you come out buying a building and selling it for less than what you paid for it. Actually, to be honest with you, it hasn't happened in my lifetime. Now, I have had some negative cash flow times, but this building here was located in one of the hottest spots in the whole state. I mean, on I-70 and 7 Highway on a corner, stoplight. I mean, it was right across the street from McDonald's. But the tenant there had this lease that he wasn't paying on, closed the business. We were suing him for back rent. And some of the partners wanted to bail out. Now, the nice part about it is this is not one of the buildings that I manage. It's through the Block & Company Management Company. And they were situated to handle this deal. They went out and found that tenant, Whataburger, and then there was a big complexity to it because the city, since it was located, we're going to have to put a street light in. They were going to have to put a curb cut in and do this and that. It was $600,000 worth of improvements. Well, that was way over my head. I couldn't have had the patience and sat there and hired an attorney and done that stuff. And so this is where it comes in when you're actually partnered with someone that knows what they're actually doing on a high complex issue like that.
Yep.
And so this management company went and met with Whataburger and we hired an attorney. And of course, I'm cash flowing my percentage of this through this whole thing, but I'm aware of it. We get notices and talk about it all the time. And I help out if I've got a connection with the city somewhere. But ultimately, Whataburger came and it literally, when they signed the lease, our property was worth 2.5 times more than it was the day before the lease was signed. Like that.
Wow.
And some of our partners, as I said, wanted to sell a year earlier.
Yeah. And now that's actually going to be the first Whataburger in the Kansas City Metro, right?
Right. It's supposedly this the first one that's going to open.
Great location.
So those are the kind of things you'd want to find. Like
Yeah.
we have Taco Bells and Pizza Huts that have been paying us, as I said, 40 years. We don't even know who the owner is, except it's just an LLC, and we get a check the first of the month. And as long as they keep coming in, who am I to say who they are?
Yeah.
The only problem is with these guys is we can't change our address. Like you can't move our offices because we don't know how to tell these guys to switch it because I don't even know who to call, like
the ultimate passive investor.
So like one of them, one of the Pizza Huts or something still goes to my late father's home. Well, thank God my older brother lives there, so he gets the check. But I don't know what we would do. I mean...
That's funny. No, I think the lesson here, guys, is simply partnering with professionals. I think that's everything that we embody here at SBD, and clearly, why I had my buddy Chris on the show today. It's, he's learned lessons completely independent of mine, but our philosophies certainly align. That partnering with professionals that know what they're doing, you can take risk. You can go buy an asset. You can buy a building in, New York or Kansas City or wherever. Understanding that as a passive investor, you don't have to go and handle it. You've got the people on board that will do so.
That's super important. Obviously, the little buildings, I take it because I like doing it. The $500,000, $1 million buildings.
Yeah, in your neighborhood where where it is.
In my circle around my restaurants, we own probably 15 buildings.
Yeah.
And I manage those. I'm already in the circle. But on the other hand, is I don't want to get a call in the middle of the night and say that, the rain just caved in the strip center roof. I want to find out about it later in my monthly notice that says, hey, by the way, your checks will be cut in half today because the roof fell in. Well, it didn't bother me at all. It hit me in the pocketbook, but I didn't have to wake up in the middle of the night and go
100%.
deal with it and call somebody.